Greetings, Mercedes.
Hell no. Let's turn something's happening with your microphone. Okay. Tell them don't call you now. You doing an interview.
Me up on the radio. Well, you can't call me now.
All right. So welcome to Movement. Definitely a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell us the name of the album.
Redemption.
Redemption.
It's redemption time.
It's redemption time.
And we're keeping church Friday night at Lula Lounge in the release of this redemption.
Okay, that's tonight.
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 Yes.
This is Friday.
I'm just coming from rehearsal, so I'm still jarred for time.
Okay. Well, why don't we give you a little time to get yourself together?
Yeah.
Yeah? And drop one of your tracks from the album. Redemption is the name of the album.
Redemption is the name of the album.
And the name of this track is?
Into Forever, since in the Lovers Rock move.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that mood tonight still, so we gonna drop it like this. Odel Johnson in the mix. Lock it down. 114 in the mix right here on CKLN 88.1. It's all about movements, bashment, excitement, upliftment. And if you're just tuning in, we're vibing with Odel Johnson, and we're actually celebrating the release of his new album, Redemption, and the track that we just heard was titled Into Forever, featuring
Lorraine Reed. The
incredible Lorraine Reed.
Yeah.
Ah, that explains it. My sister said she's got a beautiful voice, but we weren't sure who it was.
She makes this song sing.
The ever-talented Lorraine Reed, for real. Tell us, who is Odel Johnson?
Me. No. I'm a musician, reggae, roots rock reggae artist.
Okay.
Who's been passionate about drums since I was, I don't know how old, and has fortunately been able to work within the industry with many of my mentors who I've grown up listening to, and I'm inspired to write, so this is my second installment in my movement of music, you know.
Okay.
And I'm proud to say, come celebrate with us on the release.
So you say that this is your second installment. So what was your first installment is the first question. And then secondly, you mentioned you've worked with some of your mentors. So perhaps you can tell us in what capacity and who those mentors were.
I worked as a drummer.
Okay.
For many years. I started with Messenger here in Toronto.
Okay.
I wrote and performed on their last two albums. I moved to Los Angeles, where I met and worked with Fully Fullwood and Tony Chin of Soul Syndicate, which was a studio band in the 70s. If you heard early Dennis Brown or early Freddie McGregor, and Peter Tosh, they Fully and Tony ended up touring with Peter Tosh after the dissolve of Soul Syndicate as a studio band in Jamaica. And the drummer, Santa Davis, was a mentor. Growing up, I listened to him, Sly Dunbar, and Leroy Wallace, who are great reggae drummers and living legends. Santa Davis went to go work with Ziggy Marley, so I ended up working with Fully and them. We used to call it the Fully Fullwood Band.
Okay.
With Fully Fullwood, I toured with Joe Higgs, with Michael Rose, with Dennis Brown, Mighty Diamonds, Big Uri, you name Philip Fraser, Cornell Campbell, even Glenn Washington, you know, we toured as a band, rehearsing artists from Jamaica, taking them through South America and Europe and North America. And we did that for years and loved it. Mikey Dread and Scientist, if you know Scientist is an engineer, dub engineer. We did dub tours with them across America. And ended up in LA one day after a really good tour with my songbook, and I invited them to come and record with me. And in one day we did the first 11 tracks that ended up on my first album, my first installation.
Okay.
Mind and Body.
In one day.
In one day we did the bed tracks, and it took me about 4 years after that to finish the album. But you know, the bed tracks were there, and I brought the rest of the album to Toronto and New York and worked with musicians that I've worked with over the years, from Sidney Mills and Mooney from Steel Pulse, to Tony Barrett and Wiz Malcolm, who are here in Toronto. And Tony's brother Colin helped us to edit and mix and get it ready for the road. And we released in 2005 at the Mud Club.
Okay.
And that album has taken me to many places, including Israel and places in Europe and across North America to play and perform. So I chronicled my journeys thus far throughout doing, just living life. And this is the second installment with the musicians that I love to work with. Bass player L.A., Tony Barrett, the guitarist, we go way back. And Wiz Malcolm, whom I toured and performed with Messenger for years. And we got Scientist again, brought him to Toronto, got into the studio, and we recorded all the bed tracks in one day. And then it took me about 3 weeks to finish the album. A month to finish the album.
Okay, it didn't take 4 years this time.
No.
Okay, but that's why it's well, they say the creative process. It's a process, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
So I mean, who's to tell in terms of creativity how long it will take for the juices to get flowing and how much juice will actually get flowing?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it, as you've indicated, it could take from 4 years down to 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's what you hear, and it's you're dealing with space and time. It's music and rhythm and the groove of how life flow. That's how we have to do it.
Okay.
That's how I choose to do it.
Well, you mentioned the word chronicle, so why don't you tell us about the track name Chronicle? You talked about your journey.
Yeah. Chronicles is an, I would say, observation of our movement in life over the last, say, 10 years, and we're the ones making notes of what has passed, what we've learned from, and how we're going to move forward. So I say we write the chronicles at this time.
For real.
Like we're writing the history, and therefore we write the future.
That is so true.
For
that
real.
Is so true. And so therefore that's what this track is all about.
That's what this song is all about.
All
We
right.
write the chronicles of this time as we trod through Babylon. Say, we write the chronicles of this time as we trod through Babylon. You're listening to Mercedes and the Movement at CKLN 88.1 FM. Keep it locked.